Good morning. I am excited to share the post for this week. Let me share my screen. I'm going to attempt to show you a PowerPoint that I created just to guide my own thinking. Let's see here. There we go. I like to think as a teacher that I'm better at technology than I am. Okay, so my discussion for this week focuses on Indigenous activism, citizenship, and transnational solidarity. This is a comparative analysis of recent scholarship in Native American and Indigenous studies. The aim or overview is to examine recent scholarship on Native American political struggles and identity. I chose this as this is a historical professions class. I'm really playing with the idea of finishing this degree and then going on and getting a law degree to focus in the civil rights arena as far as law goes. So Native American rights and struggles fascinate me. So this is the direction I chose for this week. The focus from the articles that I chose, I know I'm going to say this wrong, but the Ojibwe Activism and Land Rights by Phillips, Transnational Indigenous Networks by Renard, and Native Citizenship and Sovereignty Debates by Contrawitz. Overall, I'll be discussing these articles to explore the themes of resistance, sovereignty, global alliances, and ultimately the redefinition of citizenship. Katrina Phillips wrote this article when Grandma went to Washington in 2021. The focus of her article was Ojibwe resistance to federal plans for Apostle Island's National Lake Shore. Her methodology consisted of archival research plus oral histories of the Ojibwe activists. Key content and takeaways from this was grassroots leadership, which often was women-led, and tensions between the federal conservation goals and Native sovereignty. Native voices challenged federal narratives and reasserted their own sovereignty. Phillips highlights how Ojibwe activists resisted federal land, showing activism as both local and international. Kate Renard's article, Becoming Indigenous, written in 2021, focuses on the American Indian Movement alliance with Irish Republicans and Welsh nationalists. Kate's methodology consisted of comparative transnational history and analyzing activist writings and networks. Her key content is centered around shared themes of colonialism, dispossession, and cultural survival. The American Indian Movement framed Indigenous struggles as part of a global liberation movement. The concluding thoughts is Indigenous activism transcended United States borders, thus reshaping identity through solidarity. Renard shows how the AIM movement's global alliance reframed Indigenous struggles as part of worldwide anti-colonial resistance. The third article, written by Stephen Contrawitz, Jurisdiction, Civilization, and the Ends of Native American Citizenship, was written in 2021 with a focus on debates over Native citizenship after the Civil War. His methodology consisted of an analysis of congressional debates, legal cases, and reformist writings. The key content was tension between civilizing assimilationist policies and Native sovereignty. Citizenship as a tool to undermine Native autonomy. His concluding thoughts with citizenship debates revealed federal attempts to control Native identity and to limit sovereignty. Contrawitz situates Native citizenship in 1866 as less about inclusion and more about jurisdictional control, which could be a whole study in and of itself. Some comparative insights. Phillips focused on local grassroots sovereignty struggles, Renard on global Indigenous solidarity and identity, Contrawitz on legal political battles over citizenship. Some of their shared themes were resistance to federal and state power, reassertion of sovereignty, and Native identity is both political and cultural. Together, these articles reveal a continuum of Indigenous struggle from the 19th century citizenship debates to the 20th century grassroots activism to international solidarity networks. Some reflections on their methodologies. Phillips again focused more on archival and oral history, centering Native voices. Renard was comparative and transnational, linking movements across borders, not just focusing in America. Kontrowitz focused on legal and political history, the power of law in defining Native identity. Some of the takeaways from these methodological reflections is methodologies shape how we understand sovereignty and how we understand activism. Each methodology emphasizes different dimensions from local memory to global networks and legal frameworks, all of which offer a fuller picture of Native American history. Conclusions: Indigenous activism is multi-layered, including local, national, and global arenas. Citizenship and sovereignty remain contested across centuries. New scholarship emphasizes Native agency rather than victimhood. Contribution is recentering Native perspectives in history and in political theory. Ultimately, these works underscore that Native people were not passive but active agents, shaping citizenship, sovereignty, and global anti-colonial movements. If anything, from looking at these three very different ways of approaching research and writing over a somewhat common area of research, I see that it's really important to look at all of the research available to build a picture, not just a piece of it, because you might be missing something else. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing everything that you guys share this week.